Welcome to Action. My name is James, and each week we watch a movie to decide where it ranks in our ultimate list of the greatest action movies of all time. This week we watched Die Hard 2, starring Bruce Willis.
Check your bags.
It covers 1,000 acres in our nation's capital.
Excuse me, which way is the bus to D.C.?
It handles flights from 84 different countries. It takes 10,000 employees to run it.
That's 425. Unit 247.
It has its own police force to protect it.
Possible 283.
Each holiday season, 11,000 planes take off.
This is Delos Control Tower. Go ahead.
And 11,000 planes land.
I've got 230 people flying on petrol fuel.
But tonight, on Christmas Eve,
The tracking system's down.
Oh, God, no.
We need to land now.
it will all
Switch to
come
backup systems. ILS landing system is down. Someone shut us down.
to a complete
They've
stop.
taken over the airport.
And one man is the only chance anyone's got.
How can the same thing happen to the same guy twice?
Bruce Willis, Die Hard 2.
All right, I'm going to start by welcoming back John.
Dustin?
And so, how was your guys' week?
Pretty good. Got to watch Die Hard.
Yeah, can't complain when Die Hard's on the...
Every week
On
with
the
Die
docket.
Hard's a good week.
Die Hard 2.
Yes, well, okay, well, it's still fairly classic Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's I've watched this movie over the years many times. For some reason, it's actually better than I remember. I always rank this as the third best Die Hard,
Yeah, me too.
but it's pretty good. I'm going to have to watch Die Hard 3 again.
It's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, I think for me, I would still keep it at number 3 after like 1 and 3, but yeah, it's
Well,
a
why?
solid movie.
Why would you keep it at number 3?
Well, I have a few frustrations with 2, though. I guess we can get into later.
Well,
Yeah,
you
A
can
few
get it-
things
yeah,
to me that hold
okay.
it back from being as good as.
I have to watch Die Hard 3 again before I can for sure say it's my second.
Yeah.
But it's better than I remember. I think that right off the bat, when it kicks in, I forgot how much of a Christmas movie this actually feels like. Like with the music and everything's really the
a
pacing.
lot of snow.
And
It's
everything.
like more so than the first one, though.
Oh, very
Like,
much so.
Wait, like they really wanted you.
Well,
to
the
get
first
across.
one is in L.A., right? So it doesn't feel as Christmassy necessarily. Like he's at a Christmas party, but you're still in Los Angeles. It's like sunny.
Yeah.
The sun is setting. It's and
So-
here you've got a dump of snow happening like right off the bat.
So what I
and-
didn't get is though the first one that was supposed to take place on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And this one takes place on Christmas
Yeah, and this
Eve.
one takes place on Christmas because he has that one line, right? Like,
How can the same shit happen to the same guy
yeah,
twice?
yeah, or can I get through a Christmas Eve without getting shot at?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
I think they should have made them all at Christmas.
Well, that would be a little. It would strain credulity. I mean, it already
Is insane.
is insane that the second Christmas terrorist takeover is happening.
Now, how many
and
years
he's involved.
after the first movie is this supposed to be? We never really get a sense of that, do we?
Well, it came
it's
out
supposed
only.
to be the next year, isn't it?
Well, it only no, I don't know if it's supposed to be the next year, but it came out only 2 years later. So
That's a pretty fast turnaround.
yeah,
I feel like it's like 4 or 5 years.
you think it's supposed to be that long?
Well, maybe
They
3.
don't specify. So if, for me, I always just figured the amount of time that came out, like in
maybe.
between movies, is basically how much
2
time
years
has
makes
passed.
sense.
It's probably 2 years. I mean, he talks about how he moved to L.A. to be a cop in L.A. for his wife.
Yeah,
To,
Yeah.
so
Carl Winslow comes back.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Al Powell.
Yeah, no, but it's I just really liked how Christmassy it felt. I think it loses that throughout the film, but I think that in the first half, first 2/3, they really rely heavily on the music.
Well, yeah,
and
you got
everything
music,
is
you've
really
got
Christmassy.
A lot of Christmas decorations in the airport. You've got even the these guerrillas that he ends, or whatever you want to call them, these military, what do you call them, militia guys.
Yeah.
They even have like fake presents that they are carrying around.
Let's start off talking about that. It's not the opening. The opening scene is
his car getting towed by the airport cops.
And then we see
Which okay, that scene, like they make the airport police look like the bad guy in that. But does John McClane really think that he can just do whatever the fuck he wants?
Yeah, he's fucking John McClane.
I know, but like, hey,
No.
I'm in a different city. I'm just gonna park where I can't park.
I think what he does though is he takes the risk. He parks there, and then he
like got out to like check
He's
the
like, come
like
on.
the departure arrival.
So
thing
what?
or
oh,
whatever.
come on.
So what?
You're gonna
Yeah,
get
no, I mean,
you're gonna
he's-
get on his ass for that.
Well, come on.
He's just. It gives him. He's resigned to the fact that the car is gonna go away.
Like, hey, I'm a cop, so I can do whatever I want. Even
I don't get that at all.
that's,
well,
yeah,
I
he
mean-
shows his badge. He's like, hey,
No,
I'm
he asks.
LA.
He asks for a favor because
Yeah,
of like that whole brotherhood shit.
Yeah.
He's like, it's Christmas. Just come on, like, give me a break, cut me some slack, kind of thing.
I think he's a guy doing something he doesn't really want to do in a city he doesn't really want to be in, and he's just like, why does this shit keep happening to me? Kind of thing. Where he's just like,
Yeah, but then it's kind of like it keeps happening to you because you keep.
Because you're doing shit you're not supposed to do, man.
okay,
Like park in front of the fucking arrival thing or whatever.
That's
I'll tell you
all
this,
I'm saying.
I
I just want to get that across.
I
That's it.
So you're saying you're against John McClane?
No, I'm just saying maybe he needs to understand where the airport
rules.
police are
Okay,
coming from.
he-
But I mean, if he
rules.
followed the rules all the time, he wouldn't kill so many fucking terrorists.
Yeah, okay, so he's a renegade.
Okay, so then we quickly go to a scene that makes no sense, does not need to be in the movie at all, which is the naked Tai Chi.
The introduction to William Sadler's character, Colonel Stewart, who is kind of I guess you would say he's the main villain.
And you do see his dick.
You do see his dick?
You do see his dick.
He's doing
I
his
totally
naked
missed that.
martial arts routine.
Well, when you watch it, when I was watching it, I was not looking for it, and you see the tip of his dick swing between his legs.
So just a note for all you people looking for some dong,
Well, I'm going to have to go back and watch that again.
hanging
I-
dong.
I was gonna be like, did I just see his dick? And I was gonna rewind it, and I was like, I don't need to. It's okay.
So what's the purpose of that scene?
I don't
Is it
know.
just to
Well,
show
I don't know. It's a striking way to introduce the character, but it's like a really goofy idea. Like here he is,
know, if-
naked. He's intense.
If I didn't know any better, though,
He turns off a TV like more intensely than anyone has ever turned off a TV.
That's true.
now if that had turned out to be Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Well, that would make sense.
that would have
though.
made sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so when I was watching it this
And
time,
you definitely would have saw his dick because he would have been doing the splits between two
Oh, yeah.
chairs or something like that.
when I was watching it this time, I was like, oh, you know what? Rennie Harlan definitely insisted on this scene. I don't know why I thought that. I was just like, he has a reputation for being like a weirdo. And so then when I was reading some stuff about the movie, sure enough, Rennie Harlan insisted on introducing this character like this. He thought it would be very memorable.
Menacing. It was.
Yeah,
It doesn't make
I don't
any
know
sense.
what it's supposed to come
Well,
across
I
as.
think I think the only connection it has to the rest of the film is in it's in the final scene when he's fighting John McClane on the wing,
Yeah.
and you get like, okay, he's doing his like fucking
Yeah, his martial arts.
martial arts shit. But
yeah,
like,
I think it's just supposed to show that he's intense.
and he is intense.
So he's intense,
And,
naked.
and disciplined.
I don't know.
I guess discipline. Okay. Okay.
I don't.
He's
I
naked.
get,
He's doing his thing.
and then I think this is a really funny scene though when they all come out of their hotel rooms.
Oh, at the same time.
They all come out. Well, they don't come out at the same time.
Well, they're just staggered.
They're staggered, so that the
so they can walk in the proper order.
So-
They're military men.
the furthest from the elevator comes out first, and then they're on 5-second delays.
Yeah.
And they all come out carrying their gifts.
All in their similar.
Why do they have
jackets
gifts?
And I think it has like gear that they're gonna use because like a couple of them are that go into the luggage area to tinker with the computers or some kind of the equipment.
It's kind of cool though.
I think that what they're doing in there is they put something in so that they can listen to all of their conversations in the
and also then they
the
just
tower.
they look like they blend in because they're carrying Christmas presents. I don't know, like they look like they're part of the crowd.
Yeah.
Except for John McClane picks up on that shit instantly.
No, that's not what he picks up on.
Yeah, he sees them doing their watch thing, and he sees them like
He sees him kick. He sees him
feet.
kick the present over.
Yeah, while there's the two cops.
The
that
two
walk
cops
by.
there. They kind of like stop doing what they're doing when the cops go by. He has his.
That's when he notices it. When they stop doing it,
His
he does.
eagle eye picks all
What
this shit up.
he actually notices, I think, is he pulls his earpiece out.
Yeah, that too. I mean, it's all of it. Right? He sees all these things happen, and he's like, something is weird about these guys.
Yeah.
He's in the bar. He goes to talk to the cops to tell them, hey, I just saw something suspicious.
Yeah, hey, this might not be anything, but
And who does he see at the bar?
It's the cop that gave him the ticket.
Valentino or
yeah.
whatever. Okay, so I was going to bring this up later because I thought of it later in the film. But do you think that this was supposed to take place in Washington? Because I really get much more of a New York, Chicago, or like Philadelphia feel.
Oh, I don't know. Why? What makes you think there's anything different?
Stereotypes. I mean, honestly, that's what it is.
Oh, well, those two cops are definitely like New York guys.
Yeah, it's based off
The
of just like
brothers.
stereotypical 80s movies, right? Like normally this would have taken place in like New York, Chicago, and I think or Philadelphia for some reason
Well,
on
I
the West
mean,
Coast.
DC is capital, right? So it's also, and then it's a political center, so
It is kind of weird though that
kind of plays into the plot a little bit. I mean, these two cops definitely sound like they're from New York, like they're Brooklyn or whatever.
I think also usually what you have in movies is you have like a city has a certain, like I said, once again, stereotypes, certain things that it's known for. So when you think of Chicago, when you think of New York, you think of, cops, rude, hustle and bustle, whatever. It just,
I mean, it's not like DC is a tiny little, burg. It's like
yeah, I just don't think. Yeah, I don't think it really is that important.
no,
that
I
they
don't think,
chose
I didn't bring it up to be like,
where
I
they
just
chose.
thought, oh, this, no,
well,
most
they,
movies would
they probably wouldn't do Chicago because that's kind of like it's in the Midwest. It's out of the way, and also that's a giant fucking airport. So it's like too much almost to like.
Oh, you
the
think they
speed of
thought that
setting.
much about it?
Well, I don't know, but I think it's just part of the plot because of the political. They're bringing this guy as a political prisoner over, General Esperanza. It's like, who is from the same fictional South American country as the guy from Commando.
Yeah. I heard
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, same screenwriter.
Oh,
Now-
there you go.
Oh, it's the same screenwriter.
Who's
that's
the
why.
Who's the writer?
Stephen E. Souza or something like that.
Yeah, D'Souza.
D'Souza, yeah. One of the most profitable. his
Welcome
movies
back,
are among
Steven.
the most profitable movies ever.
Yeah.
Profitable screenwriters ever?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I don't know what personally. I just mean his movies that he's written have made him.
Looks like I'm just looking at his thing here. He hasn't done anything since 2012. What happened, Steven?
Maybe he's sick or something, or well, I don't know.
He is old. Maybe he's retired.
Yeah, that could be too.
So he notices those guys. Then he tries to tell the cops. Then those two guys go into the baggage.
The luggage area, yeah.
And this is where you get like, it's not the first, but it's the pre-post 9/11, whatever you want to call it. Like things are different now. Where it's like he just asks a janitor. He's like, "Hey, let me in here."
Yeah, open
And
the
they're
door.
like-
Well, he shows him his badge. He just flashes his badge at him.
I know. It's just.
This is the innocent days when you could just do that.
I love this time. Like I think that movies are better for it. They're better for the no cell phones. They're better for the people can just do stuff.
Well, also when Colonel Stewart and I can't remember his right-hand man's name right now, but they're walking along and he's like, "What's the security like in this place?" And he's like, "Just like we thought, a joke."
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's an airport. The security is a joke, but I guess this is at a time when it would have been a lot less,
It just allows. it allows the story to go places that things couldn't go anymore. It's like whenever you think about a cell phone in a movie. It's like if cell phones were invented.
Yeah, but I think even movies they do now, they would just do the exact same stuff, and then they just expect the audience just to.
Well, yeah, it would just involve. It would involve more like we're hacking into the mainframe.
Yeah. Enhance.
Yeah. But it's. I like this era of film. This era of people can just go places and do things, and.
Terrorists can take over an international airport in a major city.
Yeah.
Without much difficulty.
Yeah, so he gets into the baggage car area, and then
he asks those guys for ID because he sees them fiddling with electronics.
And it escalates quickly. Like they don't try to
they just start shooting at him.
Subdue him.
Now this is the funny part, and this speaks to what you were just talking about. Bruce Willis, John McClane, is carrying his piece with him in a airport in another city in which he is not a cop.
I don't know how cops work in the States. I thought everybody in the States had a gun.
Well, I mean, it depends on each state. Or
actually, I'm thinking district, Washington D.C. has some of the most strict concealed. I think.
Yeah, they do have the most.
They have
and they have like more strict handgun laws than most places too.
Yeah, so I guess suspension of disbelief, but.
I mean, why does he even have his gun?
So that's the beauty for me, of movies taking place in this time, where I just accept that that's what happened.
So watching this movie, I've never once considered why does Bruce Willis have his gun? He's John McClane. Of course he has a gun.
Well, yeah,
but wouldn't it have been kind of more fun if, like, in this scene he didn't have his gun, and so, like, because he wouldn't really in real life. And then he had, like, they start shooting at him, and he's got to find a way to, like, fight them without a gun.
Yeah, well, that's.
I mean, they make him lose it instantly anyway. Like, a piece of luggage falls and knocks it out of his hands.
Yeah.
So why even bother having it? He could have just been having to figure out a way to disarm these guys or whatever.
I think that at this time, I think that you would have, if he didn't have his gun, you would have thought, why doesn't he have his gun? He's a cop. Because all cops had guns all the time. Axel Foley had his gun all the time. Axel Foley wasn't traveling to Beverly Hills without his gun.
Yeah, I guess so. But he was transferred there for a special thing. This is just he's visiting his in-laws.
I don't think he was.
No, he doesn't.
No, he wasn't transferred there.
No, Axel Foley.
Oh, he lied. He lies.
He lied. Yeah. Fucking idiot.
But he went there with the intent of doing some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and fucking John McClane goes everywhere with the intent of doing some shit.
Maybe he's just extra cautious after the whole Nakatomi thing. He's just, I'm going to have a gun on me. Like,
yeah,
not going to not have a gun on me.
Which is brought up multiple times in the movie, like, oh, John
Think
McClane.
you're hot shit? I know about you.
Yeah.
I also find it really hard to believe that John McClane ever did a Dateline interview. Or 2020.
Well, they talked him into it.
Yeah, so in the baggage area.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this sequence?
It's pretty fun.
I thought it was pretty good.
It's fun. I like.
It's
uses
fun.
the golf club.
Yeah, the spray in the guy's eyes.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny that he like kills the one guy by putting him through. What is that? A luggage crusher?
Yeah, the luggage flattener.
Someone's shit gets there.
That's a fucked up thing. That's like a real behind the curtains thing. So
it's like a Temple of Doom thing where he like puts him into the crusher wheel. Like,
does every airport just have a machine that destroys your like?
You know, you just bought some like nice things that you put in your suitcase and just like crushes them down.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's a space saver of some sort. But
yeah, smooth that shit out.
I don't really get it.
We got to fit like 8,000 suitcases.
Or maybe it's supposed to be because did it actually move down?
Yeah, it goes like it's like bump. Isn't it?
I don't know if it's moving down, but it's rolling over them.
Or is it supposed to be like the luggage can only be this wide or something?
I don't know.
So what's going to happen if the luggage is over that? It's just going to get jammed, and then like some poor schmuck's got to come from.
Well, I don't know. For the sequence, it makes sense that it doesn't move.
Yeah, but he it's got that tip. This sequence has that normal feigned credulity.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing from Temple of Doom, where they're on the conveyor, and then he's fighting the guy and pushes him into a.
It's pretty fun though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he loses his gun, and right away, that's why John McClane is the best.
Then the one guy's getting away and he like chases him on the bike.
Yeah.
And even like rings the bell before he tackles him. It's a nice touch.
Yeah, just after he crushes a guy to death, he has enough where like, he's like, oh, this will be funny. He's like ring as he jumps off because he just wants him to turn around, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, here I come.
Yeah,
but then that guy gets away and the cops stop McClane because they think he's the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not that famous, I guess.
No.
Like he's either so famous that everybody wants to talk to him and has an opinion of him, or people have like no.
Like the news lady recognizes
the
him
cop
because he's
knew
been
who
on
he
the
was.
news. And
head cop.
Yeah, cops know who he is because it's like they heard a story about a cop who did this thing or whatever. Pretty crazy thing.
Real white collar, blue collar thing going on, eh?
Yeah, so after the cops come in, he's like, yeah, I got my badge, and then he reaches and he doesn't have it. After looking for it, they have his badge and his gun, right? And then they're like, oh yeah, sorry John, or whatever they say.
Here's your piece and your badge.
Yeah. And then they bring him to...
Well, he asks to be taken to see the captain because they're not blocking off the scene to take fingerprints and stuff.
Yeah, they go out.
Yeah, right.
Why wasn't the captain there? There's a dead body.
Yeah, that didn't warrant. He was busy like talking about he's got his 8 reindeer coming and all.
He's got
shit.
a fucking reindeer coming from.
I got a fucking petting zoo coming from the fucking goddamn fucking Dennis Franz like swears so much in this movie.
Oh, he's great.
God damn it! He just like doesn't stop swearing.
I love it.
So yeah, he goes in the office and then like right away it's like an adversarial kind of a thing. Like, yeah, McClane, I know all about your fucking Nakatomi, blah blah.
Couldn't give less of a fuck.
Yeah. He's like, I got all kinds of shit going on. I don't have time to fucking.
I got 50.
We'll dust it for Prince later. Like,
yeah. Like this guy. How did this guy like bumble his way to the top?
And then he gets them taken out of his office, and McClane asks him, hey, let me ask you, what sets off the metal detectors first, Carmine? The lead in your ass or the shit in your brains?
Obviously the lead in your ass.
The lead. It's the lead, because shit doesn't set off the metal detector.
I heard that, and I'm like, that doesn't make any... What the fuck? Like, do you think that he had, like, that, like, stairway thought afterwards or whatever, when you're like... Oh shit, that didn't make any sense. Like he thought it was really cool in the moment, and he's like, "Oh fuck."
It didn't really work.
Yeah, I mean, most of those one-liners that he says, that's all ad-lib done by Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, he needs to.
Well, I guess because of the first one, people really liked all the little one-liners that he said, so
he had more free reign.
It was pretty much he could say as many one-liners as he wanted.
Yeah.
That's why you got so many.
We tossed the script in this one, eh?
Well, he does have some good ones in this, but that's not one of the best ones.
Oh, can I tell you one that comes up like pretty much right away? That I love when he goes to the I don't know what she is. She's working at a desk. She's like an agent.
Oh yeah,
like a kiosk.
Yeah. And he's like, the facts, miss.
Just the facts.
Just the facts. I was like, I like that one. That was a good one.
She wants to go for a drink with him because he's John McClane.
She's giving him the eyes.
Yeah.
Well, that's
he borrows her ink pad so he can take fingerprints off the guy that he just killed.
Oh
yeah. And I like this is where I think that the movie is the beginning of the movie. I think is a lot better than the back. The beginning has all these like fun little parts where he grabs the ink in the hand and all that stuff. And I feel like the second half, the last act, kind of just loses a bit of that.
Well, I mean, everything's ramping up, right? So it's not, they don't have as much time for jokey stuff as it goes on, I guess. But, yeah.
Oh yeah, we missed the other line when Colonel Stewart's going through the airport.
Oh, and the reporter's like, hey, do you have anything
Hey,
to
can
say?
I get a... Colonel Stewart, can I get a word? You can get 2. Fuck and you.
And then the other guy covers the camera and says, no pictures, you pinko bitch.
These guys hate communists.
Well, I guess she's a communist just because she's with the media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is the
And
90s.
then, so then later, when she's asking John McClane something, he's like, okay. She's like, come on, just a few words. And he's like, okay, just for a few words. Fuck off. She's like, thanks. I already got that from Colonel Stewart. And that's when he makes this connection because he saw him too in the airport.
Yeah, he's like, oh,
He's
Colonel
like,
Stewart.
I recognize you. Like, where do I know you from?
I got one of those faces.
Yeah, I've been on TV or something,
like that,
he said.
Yeah.
So speaking of technology, this is a movie that references the fact that there's been a technological shift from
Right. He's
the
using
first
the
movie.
fax machine.
But they don't do anything fake. They just do stuff that exists
In that time.
Yeah.
and nothing. Even though that stuff is antiquated now, somewhat, like it looks old, at least on TV. I don't know what is inside of a air traffic control. I'm sure it's something similar still, but none of it feels like it takes me out.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're watching some of the other films, I can't think of anything.
Well, in this case, it's it has the benefit of like an air traffic control thing. We're not familiar with that equipment, so it can look like whatever they want.
No,
it
but
to.
even when they have like when they talk about the fax machine, when they talk about the phones in the airplanes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
the airphone. Yeah.
It's just that they don't try to make anything look.
He has a pager.
It's a pager, and it's I like that. I was like, oh, thank you for not trying to invent something to make it look cool or sexy for the movie. Just having it the way it is.
I think even when they're all set up in that church, they could have made it look way more like new technical equipment, but it didn't look that far out.
No, it looked like, oh yeah, I accept the fact that this is what a
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like pretty much the same equipment they're using in the
yeah,
tower.
and I think that's cool that they just did that. I think that when films decide to make that choice to just say no, we're just going to use the technology that exists and not try to create something cool for like
some fake
this cutting
thing that
edge
doesn't really,
fucking
Like a square
Death
gun
Squad
or
to have.
something.
square gun.
What? I'm just saying they went with a conventional gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For
Well,
less.
I mean, to talk about how old this movie is, it's 1990. So when he's bitching to Carmine about how they're not cutting off the scene, the guy's like, it's just some punk stealing luggage. And he's like, what? That punk pulled a Glock 22 on me. You know what that is? It's like a porcelain gun made
gun from Germany.
Yeah, that blah, 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 doesn't set off the...
Yeah.
Okay, well, like, Glocks have been around for fucking ever now. And, like, you see people use them in movies all the time. But at this point in time, it was like something that it was like a new thing.
A Glock was a new gun?
Well, I don't know if it was a new gun, but it was like a new thing maybe in America for...
Or maybe that kind. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, once again, don't know shit about guns. They go bang.
They go bang.
And I'm scared of them.
But, so the church scene you brought up.
Yeah, so the church scene...
Who's that actor?
The old guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. Always playing an old daughter guy.
They pretend to be, some kind of power
They're like
company guys.
Washington,
gotta check on
D.C.
something. Or,
It was WDP or something like that. WDS.
Yeah, they're there to check something to do with power with regards to the airport.
I feel like a piece of me is dying with this church. Oh, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Poor old man. He's watching the church, and now he's dead.
Well, this movie actually has a bunch of fucked up deaths. Like, I mean, we're jumping ahead to the plane that goes down.
Yeah.
Like, they fucking wipe out.
I remember that was controversial at the time that the movie came out.
It felt
And
controversial.
the whole plane crashes and everybody on board dies.
It's pretty fucked up.
It is. It's a lot of people to die.
You think it was a decision to make them British and not American?
Probably. Like, won't hit the audience as hard if it's a bunch of Brits.
It felt like it because they didn't just make them British.
They made them super British.
They were just like British accents. They were like, love, governor.
I've got petrol fumes on my plane, like just purposely saying stuff that's like...
Yeah.
They might as well
We're
have
like
been-
just like British Rail, love.
Yeah.
We might be late, but we get you there.
Dick Van Dyke might as well have been in there fucking singing about sweeping chimneys.
And that's I don't know why, but Cole Meany from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh yeah,
is the
It's
the pilot. But they take that church over and they're using it as their base of operations to like set up all their own gear, and meanwhile they're cutting power to Dulles Airport so that those guys they won't be able to control their own runways and all that stuff, and they're like instrument landing system.
Yeah, the whole thing is so convoluted but kind of so simple that you kind of just accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think at this point, John McClane's up in the tower.
Yeah, he's gone up in the tower. He's like, hey, check out. He gets a fax back about the guy that he killed. He got the prints from, and he turns out he's supposed to have already been dead. He's supposed to have already died on like some military mission.
Yeah, like
2 years.
2 years earlier.
Yeah, when these are the things you think about when you're watching a movie for like the 5th, 6th time. When he's looking at that fax, right? There's these circles on all the fingertips. What are those about?
He circles the swirls, the part that like the
John McClane did?
Yeah.
Anyway,
section is.
They walk into, first of all, dumbest fucking cops.
Yeah, that's
the SWAT team that goes with him to protect him.
What are you doing?
Hey, asshole! What do I look like to you?
They're all dressed
sitting duck.
All the bad guys are dressed as painters.
Yeah, they're like
and then
working in the area.
They're walking on the I don't know what you call it, skywalks. I don't know what you call them. They're moving walkways. And
yeah. Those things are awesome. They make you feel like you're like a.
I don't think does
Flash.
Vancouver have them. I know Calgary does.
Most airports have them now.
I think most of them do. Yeah.
I haven't been to Vancouver in a while.
Anyway.
Yeah, the guy pushes the button, and instead of the SWAT being like, "Why are there a bunch of people on Christmas Eve working at?"
Well, it is like they're like newly still working on this area.
Okay, it's Christmas Eve.
They should be more suspicious.
Shit's going down. They're going to this special area. This guy turns.
We're sending a SWAT team with you because there's shit going on.
This guy turns the walkway on, and instead of being like, "Oh shit, this is about to get fucked up," he's like, "Hey, why are you being such a cock?"
Yeah, more or less. And Bruce Willis, meanwhile, meets the Marvin janitor, the guy who says, "I'm just the janitor." So this guy is the janitor for the whole fucking airport?
I think that he
seems to be on his own entirely.
Yeah.
He's got nobody working with him.
So this is
He's just the janitor.
So this is my theory about the janitor. That janitor started working there when he was like 17 years old.
This is like an Office Space situation.
Yes.
He was released a long time ago, and he's just living in the underground part of the airport.
I think he's still getting paid. I just think that he's been there for so long that nobody even really thinks about him anymore. He collects his paycheck and he lives there.
Well, he's got his record player and shit down there, listening to his old-timey tunes.
Yeah, and he's got like every single map to that place.
Schematics. He's got schematics for days.
Marvin, well, I guess he's supposed to be kind of like the Argyle in this movie. Like Argyle's the limo driver in the first movie. He's like the helper sort of. He's kind of like the replacement for that character.
Yeah, I guess so.
But he's just not all that fun of a character. He's just kind of...
He shows up at the end with his fucking earmuffs on.
Hey, I'll be damned if I'm going to clean up this mess.
You and your missus get in the fucking back. Woo!
Yeah. So then now he's asking Marvin, where's this Annex Skywalk thing? Because I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there too, because I can't leave well enough alone.
Yeah, and he's going to go through all the tunnels and stuff.
So he crawls. This is when he's crawling in the tube, and he has the line. It's probably my favorite line, where he's like, "Just once, like a regular, normal Christmas, little turkey, little eggnog, but no, gotta crawl around in this motherfucking tin can."
Yeah.
No, you guys don't.
No,
yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty good line. Honestly, there's so many lines that I can't really remember and pick out one specific one.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of lines. I don't know if any of them were like knock me.
Yeah, there's not I don't know if there's amazing lines, but there's a bunch of pretty decent ones. Yeah, there's so many that some of them stick.
It's better than Octagon.
They throw by. It's better than Octagon.
Better than the Raid.
Yeah, so he's running. He's running around in the tunnel, and then he's crawling through.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever.
yeah. So anyway, there's a fucking
ventilation shaft.
Yeah.
All the SWAT team gets got. They're all dead.
Get got.
They kill.
They get all shot up. One of the by T-1000. Robert Patrick is the one who shoots the first SWAT team guy in the head.
They kill a couple of them. The SWAT team does, and then just as Well, the actor's name is Art Evans. This is the engineer.
Yeah, Barnes.
Who I looked up during while I was watching the movie because I thought this guy must have done like voiceover for cartoons or something.
Oh yeah, well I've seen him and stuff.
I don't think he has, but he has one of those voices like he belongs on Winnie the Pooh or something. He's about to get shot, and John McClane jumps out of the.
He comes out of the shaft, starts blowing motherfuckers away.
That one guy's still lying on like some kind of like scaffolding.
Yeah, he's lying on the scaffolding.
Why is he lying on the scaffolding?
Because he was painting.
He was up there, and then he started shooting down at the.
Yeah, but everybody
SWAT guys.
was dead, and he was just still
but they
lying
just
there, like,
finished killing
break.
them, and then he comes out basically and starts shooting them. It's not like he like had time to climb down.
Yeah, so everybody gets taken care of.
He drops the scaffolding on that guy, pushes it over.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah.
That whole sequence is pretty well done.
It's
the
pretty
action
fun
in that scene.
It's pretty good, but again, what you were saying, it's like it's just as it starts to get going. Then
it's not like I don't know. It's like you're never quite satisfied with the action sequences.
Yeah,
like they start and they're not badly done or anything, but then it just doesn't feel fully fleshed out, maybe or something.
Yeah. So then they break the window.
The window blows up because those guys remotely blow up the annex skywalk thing that they were going to use to try to contact the planes. The
I know, but
array.
John McClane gets down onto the ground first.
Yeah, it was already gone.
Because this is when they say they're going to teach him a lesson, and then they pretend to be Dulles Airport, and they crash.
So there's
this airplane. He runs out there, makes some torches, and tries to like wave them at the plane to prevent the plane from crashing into the ground.
But fails, and then
that's pretty fucked. That's
a pretty memorable sequence.
It's a pretty heavy thing to happen.
Yeah,
like
these guys aren't fucking around. They just killed like how many people are on a commercial flight like that?
There is this weird thing they do though. When I didn't really like it, where they all seem like all the bad guys seem so dedicated to the task, except for the guy who actually changes the elevation. The guy he hesitates twice.
He seems to hesitate, yeah.
But
he's the one who's about to
I guess
kill a couple hundred people.
He's a good bad guy though. What's his name?
William Sadler, Colonel Stewart, yeah.
So this is the entire time he reminded me of another actor. And what does that say, Dustin? What's it? How do you pronounce his name?
Garrett Dillahunt? Oh yeah, I never would have thought of that.
So that's exactly who it reminds me of. So you guys would know him
from Deadwood and
Raising Hope, a show I've never watched.
He was on Justified for a season.
Yes, he was. He's a great menacing.
Yeah, he's a good bad guy.
Great bad guy.
He was actually also in the last couple seasons of The Mindy Project.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic. So if you're going to replace him with another actor in that same, to kind of like go after that same style, that's exactly who I would use.
Yeah, he definitely has that more southern aspect, but
well, actually
he can definitely be fucking.
What's the name of
a bad hombre?
What's the name of the actor who plays? I should have this written in front of me. The Colonel.
Colonel Stewart.
Yeah,
William Sadler.
He slides right into a southern accent there.
Yeah, because he's pretending to be. I guess he's pretending to be Fred Thompson, who does have a Texas kind of accent.
That's a lot of research. So after the plane crash, I think that's when the movie kind of starts to not drag a bit, but that's where the tonal shift really happens.
Yeah, I mean everything gets a lot more serious, and then you're getting these punctuated action sequences.
Yeah.
Like then you get ahead to General Esperanza landing his plane. They've opened up a runway, the terrorists, for him to land.
Yeah. I like how they never give you with General Esperanza. I think of Esperanto. Is that the language?
I don't know.
Anyway, like they show him as this menacing character, and like, is he gonna kill this young soldier? But they never explain how he actually gets the upper hand on him.
Yeah, I don't know if they need to. He just chokes him out with his cuffs or whatever. The soldier was too trusting of him because he's charismatic.
Yeah. So he kills him, kills the pilots, lands.
I'm not sure why he needed to do that though, because they were just gonna open a runway for them to land at anyway, and then
just to show
and then
that
come
he
and
doesn't
collect
give
him.
a fuck. Because they're gonna die anyways. So
It must have been one chilly fucking landing. He got the window broke from the gunshot, and the snow is just like blizzarding the fuck into his face
Nothing like a fucking East Coast snowstorm to just
at like a high altitude,
Yeah.
right in the face.
He lands. John McClane's there.
He opens the door
Boom,
and he
motherfucker.
says something like,
He's like, "Oh, freedom." He's like,
not yet.
"Not yet."
Yeah. Oh, but just before that, this whole thing is so planned out with these military guys.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking walkie-talkie that's been secreted underneath the plane like console.
Yeah, just
that he
in
pulls
case-
out and he like does his hey, it's Falcon. Eagle Nest, do you hear me? It's Falcon.
We didn't
They all
talk
have their
ear-
code names and shit.
Yeah, we didn't talk earlier about how the code names for when they took over the church.
Oh
were
yeah,
little-
buckwheat.
Were Little Rascal references.
Yeah. This is buckwheat.
I just
The
imagine
clubhouse is open.
Yeah, I just imagine like these incredibly serious, communist hating,
That made me laugh quite a bit.
like military guys, like sitting around
It's
being
such a
like,
silly line.
yeah, like, well, maybe it's like a house.
It's like a clubhouse. I'll
What
be
about
buckwheat. You be
Little
alfalfa.
rascals, huh? No girls allowed. What do you think?
Well, he's got that nickname, but then the other ones are all like, I'm Falcon and fucking.
Yeah.
What's the other guy? What is Grant's nickname or his fucking code name? Is
I
something
can't
else.
remember.
Hatchling.
Hatchling.
This is Hatchling. All right,
So
guys,
really, what
calm down.
we're working towards though is we're working towards like they figure John and the engineer figure out.
They figure out where he's gonna land, and he busts his ass out there. You get that kind of. That's a pretty fun sequence, and he's trying to get out of the grate onto the runway,
Oh, yeah.
and the plane is landing, and
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
stuck, and
That's
he
fun.
gets out of the last second.
Which I think that scene, there's like where he's in the tunnel, that was filmed in a water treatment plant.
Yeah,
On the actual runway where the plane is coming at him is filmed at a Michigan airport, and then in the cockpit is filmed in L.A.
yeah, it's like
So-
5 different
Really,
locations for that
yeah,
one.
exactly.
Yeah.
the magic of movies.
So he comes in and like he shoots Esperanza like in the
Right
shoulder
fucking
right
shoulder,
away.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Yeah.
But then right away these other guys have shown up to collect him, so he
And they've got
gets
their-
stuck. He like barricades himself in the cockpit.
They've got their blue clips.
Oh yeah, I can't remember which
Is it
is
blue or
which.
red?
I think it's red is for
Red is live.
Red is live, yeah.
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 So they like he's going to hell.
Yeah.
Just open up, starting shooting. This shot, the one shot here of Colonel Stewart, he's got this like big grin on his face in the snow as he's like just shooting his machine gun. For some reason, it always made me think of the Joker.
Oh,
in
yeah.
this scene. He's just
I
got
can
like
totally
this
see
like
that.
like crazy grin on his face.
It's pretty fun. The more interaction that like McClane has with the bad guy, I think the better the movie is for it.
Yeah.
Like I think those are the parts. These are like these actors that are like I said, like John McClane, Bruce Willis is like just doing his thing, and like these bad guys that are like bigger than life kind of. And when they get to interact, I think that's when you have the most fun. I think that's really what you want to see.
Yeah, and that doesn't actually happen too much in this movie.
No, I think the movie would have been better off if they were in constant contact.
Well, yeah, because this is another like mini action sequence.
Yeah, it's
That-
just like they shoot the plane a bunch,
Yeah.
and then they throw their grenades in the window, and he just ejects before like the cockpit, before the whole plane blows up.
Yeah, and then is it the Colonel?
Colonel.
Yeah.
Colonel Stewart.
I think it would
He's
have
just like lucky bastard or
Yeah,
something.
lucky fucker or
Yeah.
whatever you
been, and that gets to my worst part of the movie. It's just the worst looking thing that happens when he like. Is
Oh,
like,
the explosion below
yeah.
him. Yeah, I mean,
So that's
it's pretty dated at this point when he's. Yeah.
It just looks so dumb.
I don't think it looked so bad when it came out, but
No.
yeah, it's pretty.
But I just think that if they had been in constant contact with each other, like one upping each other, or like
yeah, 'cause they
McClane
don't
stopped.
interact that much.
Yeah, McClane like, he makes Stewart change his plans here, and like they each are ahead of each other at different times. Like, I think that would have been more fun.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to have all these other people, these intermediaries between them.
Yeah. Oh, I was just thinking too. The explosions in this movie all look like fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah.
like the plane that crashes
It's
and
like,
blows up. It's like fucking like atom bomb going off or something.
Yeah.
And also, the plane at the end has a like a fucking massive explosion.
Yeah.
And the antenna array, like
Yeah.
all these things blow up. Like
Oh yeah.
they blow up real
They
good.
did not skimp on the C4, which was underneath all the desks.
Yeah.
And when John and the engineer figure out that they're at the church.
Yeah, or like that neighborhood, so they go check it out
Yeah.
and they see the church, and then he sees like a sentry walking around outside.
Yeah, and
He's
this is where the pager makes a re-entry.
Yeah. She
And then
tries
that
to
guy-
call him again, and he's like running up to try to take the guy out.
Yeah, and the guy doesn't like sneak up on McClane. He like
He
launches
over
himself
the truck.
over a fucking Bronco, like to attack
Flies
him.
at him like Superman. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good tackle. Guy
Yeah,
could've
that was
played some football.
So, and I guess I was like thinking about it, and I'm like, well, how come there's only one guy and nobody notices it? But John McClane's like taken out a bunch of his like soldiers at this point, so they're probably working with like half as many.
Yeah, I mean, you'd still think the guys inside that church would hear all this shit going on outside. Like they're smashing into the side of the shed and then knocking the trash cans all over the place and stuff
And
as they're fighting.
Although I mean, if it's really stormy out, you might not.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then you get when you watch it the second time through, a real clear indication that what's the new military guy on the scene? What's his name?
Oh, so yeah, they call in the special anti-terrorist crew of soldiers, Major Grant.
Yeah, so this is
and
where
his gang or whatever.
you see Major Grant, and if you knew in retrospect, or you picked up on it, that Grant is a bad guy, when McClane, not McClane, but whatever his name is, engineer, calls
Barnes.
back to head office, and he's like, "We're at this place. This is where the bad guys are."
Yeah, and they're all like, "Let's go,"
And
then they
he
all
doesn't-
have
Got
to,
all their military
Yeah,
jargon.
all he
Sit
sees
rep.
is that the Grant sees is the address, and right away he's like, "We have confirmation. This is where they are."
Yeah, I don't know if you're supposed to think that's a clue so much as it's just like lazy writing of like, oh, he's on the phone with this guy. That's what's going on.
Yeah, I think the big clue is when they're on their way there, they put in all the
They change the clip colors.
They changed the
yeah.
right, and then
And
you
then the
notice
guys at the
that
church change theirs.
Yeah, they have the same.
Yeah, you're
blue.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, lazy writing makes more sense.
Yeah.
So
So then they
then-
get in the shootout with them, but
Yeah,
like nobody's
there's a
getting
shootout.
hit because they're firing blanks at each other.
This is fun though, like because you get to have the skidoo.
Yeah, the little skidoo chase.
Yeah, and then you get
So
to have
McClane shoots a guy and takes his and chases after them.
and you get to be like McClane's like shooting his like stolen weapon, and he's so upset because he doesn't understand what's happening.
He's like, "What? I always kill everyone I shoot at.
yeah,
What's
Yeah.
going
this
on?
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
I know I dropped that fucking guy." Yeah, and then they blow up his skidoo, whatever the fuck
His
he's
what do they call
snowmobile.
them? Like sleds,
Yeah, sure, sled,
I don't know.
snowmobile.
snowmobile.
And that's when he looks at the clip and he's like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god! And he like gets
Holy
it. And he's
shit.
like, "This goes way deeper than I thought."
Yeah, and then he goes back to talk to Dennis Franz.
Dennis
Carm-
Franz is like,
Carmine.
"What the fuck are you fucking talking about?
Fucking
Fuck
McClane, I'm gonna have
McClane,
you fucking arrested, you fuck."
Yeah, you piece of fucking shit."
And then he shoots at him, and nobody shoots him. All the
No.
cops behind him all have their guns pointed at him,
Everybody pulls their gun.
but nobody shoots at him while he's like unloading his machine
Yeah.
gun on the. He's like, "See, these are the bullets they used out here, blanks."
All those cops are probably like in their heads, like, "Oh, I'm really glad I didn't shoot him."
And this is the thing that finally turns Carmine around. He's like, "Oh my god,
We're gonna get our shit together now. We're gonna,
I want everyone in the motor pool in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
It's time to kick ass."
yeah, fuck you, Carmine.
Oh,
Yeah.
just in time.
And then they get outside and get into
And there's a
the
traffic
car.
jam because
Yeah.
Fucking-
meet my
fucking
brother.
Thornburg's
Yeah.
been giving his report, so everyone's like trying to get the fuck out of the airport because they
Yeah,
all know
meet my
terrorists are-
brother. Guaranteed the most racist, laziest cop in the fucking precinct.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
What does he say to him?
Vincenzo, whatever the
Yeah.
fuck.
Vinny,
And then they
meet
drive.
my brother Vinny.
So what do? They drive. There's.
right into a taxi.
They drive right
Yeah,
into a
immediately.
taxi.
God damn it to
I've-
Christ Jesus,
And
fuck!
then he gets out and he's like, "Get out of my way!"
I've been cut off before. I didn't fucking slam into the car.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, that didn't go anywhere fast. But
Yeah,
then,
McClane's
then
like-
McClane spots
pieces out.
the reporter Coleman.
Yeah, he's like, "I'll give you Exclusive.
Yeah.
But luckily, they have a chopper at the airport already. This news station.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you know how helicopters are completely okay to fly around in
in the international airport
in
flight
airspace.
patterns.
Yeah. So anyway, they fly around and
He's like, get in front of that plane, and the guy's like, no man, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy, because all pilots, as we know, are like crazy.
oh, but we missed the part. We missed the part where
They shoot the one guy?
they don't shoot him. They slit his throat.
They slit
Oh,
the
yeah,
throat.
they
Yeah,
slit
of their radio guy, because he was a replacement, last minute replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's like,
I
I wish you had been in Grenada or something.
Yeah.
I like all the scenes with
The slit throat looks pretty brutal, actually.
it does look brutal. I like the scene though where he's handing out gum or something. He's handing out candy.
Yeah, and gum to everyone. Oh yeah, when they go into the church and they see the equipment and the bad guys have put bombs on it, the one guy's like, got some C4 over here and the motherfucker is armed. He just like leans so hard into it. It's like,
He's like, this is my chance.
this is my one chance to shine.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly.
So now we got McClane over top of the plane, and the guy won't get in front of it. So he's like, well, just get over top of it. And he jumps out onto the wing, as you do.
As one is wont to do.
Yeah.
And they're about
He's
to
like-
take off, and he jams.
He takes his jacket off.
He jams his jacket in the plane, whatever, fucking
Plane works.
the plane works. The gully works.
The gully works of the plane. And
They're like, "Oh, I
Esperanza
can't
is
take
like,
off."
oh,
Yeah, he's the pilot.
stereotypical Central American accent.
Except
I can't
it's
do
not
anything.
because he's Italian, that actor.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's the guy who played Django in the original spaghetti western, like 1966
Really?
Django. Yeah, which is something I never realized until watching it this time. But so then he somehow he's able to look out the cockpit window and spot McClane on the plane
like-
wing in the dark in a massive snowstorm. He's like, oh, it's McClane again. God damn it.
Yeah.
So then
McClane-
Major Grant's like, I'll fucking take care of this
And
little
then
piece of shit.
so they fight.
Yeah, he kills Grant fairly easily.
That's fucked up.
Kicks him into the
That's gross.
turbine.
Yeah.
And like McClane is definitely the surrogate for the audience in that moment when he's like, watches
"Oh,"
the
yeah.
blood, he watches the blood like splatter, and he's like, oh,
he's
that's-
like revolted.
oh.
Yeah, he's gonna puke.
He's like, I did that.
Oh, that's because Grant is like, I kind of liked you, McClane. He's like,
Could have been friends.
He's like, I got enough friends.
So while they're fighting, then the other guy's watching.
Stuart's watching.
Yeah.
Stuart's watching.
As you do, you just watch your friends.
Yeah.
You,
He's got a
you take your
gun.
turn, and then I'm gonna take my turn. Yeah, but he tells him, don't shoot that plane. That wing is fully fueled.
And the entire time, what does John have on his mind?
Well,
Releasing that gasoline.
he sees the little cap when he's down there with Grant, so he like opens up the thing, but then he doesn't have time. He's got to fight Stewart. I actually think this fight with Stewart's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Stewart's
good,
like kicking the shit out of
except
him,
for
which is
what-
what you want. McClane is the guy that's like he somehow is barely pulling through all the time. He doesn't have any right to be able to beat this guy.
I know. But except for what he could have done instead of fight him, is he could have done exactly what happens at the end of the fight, which is fall off the plane and grab the
Yeah.
gasoline or the fuel.
Well, he
release.
thought maybe I can beat this guy. He's John McClane. He thinks he could beat anyone, even though he can't. So he gets the shit kicked out of him. He does manage to bite off part of the guy's finger, though. I like
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah,
That was good.
that was good.
And then he gets kicked off.
So he gets kicked
Pulls
off.
the-
He pulls the.
Pulls the
All
gas
those
cap.
commie haters are on the plane, high-fiving.
Yeah, they're on their way to the.
cigars.
Where are they going? The
They go to the
Caribbean.
tropics. They say the tropics.
Is this the part where he says "yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker"? Or did
Well,
he
when he
say that
lights,
earlier?
when he lights the gas, he pulls
Okay.
out his Zippo and he's like, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!"
Yeah.
On television, it was edited so that he says, "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon," because the guy's his code name was Falcon, which is something McClane wouldn't have even known. But they had to like cover up motherfucker somehow. So.
And then what
right.
happens? Motherfucker blows up. There's your landing lights, Laura.
Holly.
Holly, whatever.
Yeah, Holly.
Yeah, that works out pretty good. I mean, that's kind of fun, clever script
It is
script
fun.
writing.
It's
Like,
totally
you
fun.
bring it all around. Like the way that he kills them is the way that they're able to land.
And
their
then all the other
planes.
planes are like, if they can do it, we can do it.
Yeah, we're all in this together, guys. Here we go.
It's all like so happy.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. I mean, that's a fun ending.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty ridiculous that he could blow up the whole plane with like his lighter. But
Well, that plane got annihilated.
yes, it did.
Like,
They're just taking off. They're like, yeah, here we go to the boom.
yeah.
At least, okay, what sucks though is like from the story, like the writer's point of view, is that all of those guys just got to just go. They're just dead, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody on that British flight, like they suffered for like 5-6 seconds, like realizing what was happening.
Well, there's kind of a death scream as they look back as it shows the
There
flame
is,
like
but,
rushing up.
It just felt that the killing of the British people was way more brutal
Yeah.
than the killing of the bad guys.
Well, Grant got it pretty bad.
Yeah.
You got all diced up.
Granted.
Oh man. Ba-boom.
So that's pretty much
That's
it,
it.
right?
That's the movie.
Yeah, and then you get Marvin. Whatever. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Alternate. So if you're gonna cast anybody instead of,
Instead of who? Well, you had Garrett Dillahunt instead of William Sadler.
yeah, okay. So let's pick 3 characters. Okay, so you're gonna recast John McClane.
No, you're not.
Yeah,
I don't think you can.
that's what I'm asking. Is it possible?
No.
So,
Okay, we
so
got
what you're,
Dustin's-
That's
so what-
answered.
so what you're
Asked and
saying-
answered.
So okay, so what you're saying then is that a movie like this could not be made.
Well, in all honesty,
No, I'm saying
I
no one else
realized-
could be John McClane.
Okay, let's do
Which
this.
we're going to find out real soon because they're making Die Hard Year One, which is a prequel to the Die Hard movies.
I had no idea.
I don't know who the fuck they're going to cast in that.
Oh, really?
John Krasinski.
But first of all, let me just make my position on this prequel movie clear. Fuck this movie.
yeah, you're gonna fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck
Why?
it. Well, it's going to be stupid. I don't. Fuck yeah. Nobody's playing McClane other than fucking Bruce Willis.
Well, this is part of the charm of this series, like with Die Hard, because it's not like other series where they might have like Triple X. I'm not saying it's anything close to that, but what I'm using as an
Aren't you?
example. There's Vin Diesel in the first one, and then the second one,
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, and then Vin Diesel comes back. But you know what I mean? Like they didn't try to make it like Die Hard, like another cop or something.
Okay,
like that.
so I have.
You know what I mean?
How about this? Let's not talk about alternative casting in this movie. Let's say we want to keep the Die Hard franchise going.
You want to do Die Hard 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Die Hardest.
So it's not John McClane. It's not Bruce Willis. How do we introduce a new?
Well, that's what they tried to do kind of with the last one. Is like, okay, here's his son. He's cool too.
Yeah, I say we don't do a son though. I say you do a young partner that he's forced to work with.
Justin Long.
No, Justin. No.
He's badass,
If,
isn't he?
okay, if someone was going to pick up the mantle of John McClane, though, who do you think it could be?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
That's the thing these days. Like what?
I bet Marky Mark want to throw his name into the ring,
Yeah.
I just think.
Yeah.
but he's almost too old for it too.
I just think leading actors now have completely different makeup from what we consider like an action hero than what it used to be.
There's got to be somebody out there that could be a young Bruce Willis.
I mean, you could probably. I mean, I'm sure you could come up with somebody, but
Like, Bruce Willis
I don't
he
think
just had
that
a
you
certain attitude. That
I don't
you-
think
Yeah,
that you
he's
could-
gritty,
Okay.
right? Like he's
got a humor.
got a severe alcohol problem.
So I don't think that you could make a new John McClane. I think it would have to be a new character.
Yeah, but then
Right.
why would you want to watch that character in a Die Hard movie? Just make a different movie.
Because you're just
Die
trying
Hard,
to.
because you're trying to make money off of Die Hard.
Yeah. Well,
And if you could make a great movie in the vein of Die Hard, because then you wouldn't be like, oh, this is just new Die Hard. Because that would be a complaint you would have if it was a movie like Die Hard, but not Die Hard.
I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely stuck on my old Die Hard,
All
and I
So
can't think.
Dustin's conclusion is no new Die Hards.
Don't. Yeah, that is my conclusion.
Don't you want to see a movie like Die Hard, though, made again?
Well, no, I just watched Die Hard.
Or 16 blocks.
That was almost as good.
Most Def?
Or the whole 10 yards.
Okay. So no alternative we can't do alternate casting for this movie?
Well, you could recast some other people. I don't think you can recast Bruce Willis.
I don't think there's any point in going through recasting other people.
Favorite line?
I said mine.
Say it again.
The motherfucking tin can one.
I don't know. I didn't really.
I think I like the facts, just the facts, man.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good line.
That's a pretty good.
It's a solid line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what, James? Yours can be the guy with the C4. The motherfucker is armed.
I did like that scene. I did like that line.
Yeah, that's a pretty good line.
So how'd this do? Was it a successful movie?
Yeah, it was
think so.
successful.
I mean, it spurred three more movies.
3 more after it, yeah.
Yeah, budget. Do you have a estimate of budget? Or?
My 1990,
Wow.
42 million.
Do you already know, Dustin?
I think I read it, but I don't actually remember.
Okay, well, the estimated budget was 70 million.
70
mil. It's
Yeah.
big dollars in 1990 money.
Yeah. So opening weekend, just in the United States, did just under 22 million.
Is that good?
Well, nowadays I don't think that would be considered great,
No,
but I think at the time it was.
but it
was
grossed
good.
117 million.
Oh yeah, so it made money.
Yeah, so it definitely made money.
That was total, like global box office.
It's just U.S.
Oh, that's just U.S. So yeah, then it.
So
factoring in
globally, it
and
definitely
then
would've
and then
done
video rental and all that shit. I'm sure.
Do you have a favorite part or a least favorite part of the movie?
I always did like the sequence in the skywalk when he comes in and is killing those guys.
My least favorite part is, like I said, ejection seat.
Oh, why is that?
I just don't like the way it looks. I think.
Oh, because of the green screen or whatever it was.
Yeah, I thought the action was all good. I think my favorite part, just because it just made me laugh or kind of chuckle, was the beginning when you're introduced to all the bad guys. How they're all. First of all, the guy is naked in his room, and then they all come out in a row. Like nobody's gonna notice all these guys getting into the elevator.
in a Holiday Inn Express.
It's just kind of.
They're just going down to the lobby to have some chow in the Denny's.
It's just that bit of ridiculousness that I like in movies I don't know, like those like Commando or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'd say
it's a little over the top.
This is kind of cheating, but I think my favorite part is I'd say the first act as a whole. I think it's just really great. I think it's fun and kind of not whimsical, but Christmassy in that really cliche kind of way. Mm-hmm. It's almost a little goofy at times with the way that the sound effects and the music hits with a guy getting punched or shot. I just really like it. Yeah. It really sucks you in, I thought.
Yeah. So the director, what else has he done?
Oh, Rennie Harlin. Well, I mean, he used to be a pretty popular action director. This was when he was really kicking off his career, but then he did Cliffhanger with Stallone, and also Driven with Stallone, Deep Blue Sea. He did a bunch of...
Because what did he do before this? He did...
I think he might have done music videos. I mean, he did... The only movie I think that he did that was a big deal was Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Oh, yeah, so he did that right before this. He did that in 88.
Yeah. His career's kind of tapered off. He still directs stuff, but it's not I don't even know if it's all theatrical release kind of stuff at this point.
Yeah. Skip Trace?
Skip Trace? The fuck is that?
I don't know.
The Legend of Hercules? He's a producer on that.
Yeah, some stuff he's just producing. Oh, yeah, The Covenant. That was a weird, boy witch movie.
So, the writer, we kind of talked about that a little bit already.
Oh, and of course, he also directed The Long Kiss Goodnight, which is going to be the next movie we talk about.
Yeah.
So we're on a Harlan kick.
Harlan train. All aboard. So, plot.
Yeah, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 6. It's a solid 6.
I gave it a 7. I think the plot is it's pretty decent for this kind of movie.
It's fair. I think, yeah.
It's pretty well executed, the way everything kind of comes together and stuff. I don't know.
I did. So with all of my ratings for this movie, I don't know if we're ever going to get to the point where we like sit down and have like a podcast where we, I don't know, maybe have a retrospective where we like look back and like some movies that we all want to change our ratings on. This might be one of those movies because I did fight between 6s and 7s on a lot of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was, when I sat down and rated it, it turned out to be lower than what I thought it would. Because it was enjoyable, but it is also 2 hours long.
It's 2 hours,
so
and it slows down a lot. Like it's like, oh, action, oh, okay, that's done, and now we slow down here, get into some more of the plot, and then.
So what'd you give it for plot?
So plot wise, I gave it a 6.
Have a few scenes with Marvin.
Yeah,
I think you cut Marvin out.
Yeah, I don't know what the purpose.
Well, the purpose
really
is so that he can be like, here's how you get over here. Like that's basically it.
He's a conduit.
Yeah. This is how you get to this part of the airport.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it wouldn't have made any sense.
And
I
to try to have some like funny sidekick shit.
Right.
So kills action 6. There's some pretty good kills in it. Good
action is decent. But like like I said, like
I mean, these movies are focused. This style of movie is more focused on explosions and like kills of specific.
Well, like the shootout scene is pretty good that happens in the skywalk, but it doesn't. That's like pretty basically one of the only like real shootout scenes.
Yeah, and it's kind of over too quick.
Yeah, and it ends pretty quickly.
Yeah, I gave it a 7. I mean, it's got good action sequences. I found.
It's a pretty good set piece to get on the plane and fight on the plane wing and stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's it's fun.
Yeah, definitely. Pacing, a little bit of a drag. I gave it a 5.
I also gave it 5.
I think I should have given it a 5. I gave it a 6.
It is a little too long, and
it is.
Yeah.
I think
it just doesn't flow super smooth.
No, it doesn't. The first act I think is fantastic, but I think the third act drags.
Was that the same thing you had with Commando as the first act?
With Commando, I felt like all the good stuff happened in the beginning, and then and then, but the second half is all action. That's pretty much all it is. It's also been weeks of watching action movies, which isn't really my thing to begin with, and now
what the fuck are you doing on this podcast?
Yeah.
Well, now I'm starting to learn a bit. So my feelings are changing. I'm growing,
expanding your horizons.
Yeah. So quotes and tropes.
Quotes and tropes. I gave a 6 to this as well. I mean, it's got a few pretty decent lines, and I mean, it's got a lot of those. It's pretty effective at most of its tropes, like the guy that turns out to be the bad guy, like the major. There's a twist that he's like, oh, the guy that's supposed to be helping us is actually the guy against it, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not surprising.
No, not really, but it's done well enough. Like it's
done well.
It's not like super.
They utilize it pretty good, and they really take full advantage of the X is going to blow up big. Like whether it's a car in this movie, airplanes. Like, I think they do a pretty effective job. I think Marvin is a pretty good trope that they don't use that well.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I gave it a 6 too. There's definitely a lot of one-liners. There's probably like 3 or 4 times more.
Yeah, in this
one-liners.
Yeah.
They don't all stick, but
they don't all stick.
No.
And some of them don't make any sense. You're like, oh, well, the shit isn't magnetic, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like when they were filming. They're just like, okay, Bruce, you need to just come up with something this spot.
Yeah, I'm sure this is a time when Bruce Willis could just do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
So your final reaction, James?
So my final reaction is a 6.
Dustin?
Yeah, I also said 6 or overall out of 10.
And I gave it a 7. My gut reaction before I rated anything else was a 7. So
yeah, fair enough.
So it ends up with a 6.1.
6.1. So it's currently tied with Mission Impossible.
So now we need to pick.
I say Die Hard 2 is better than Mission Impossible.
So, but why?
Yeah.
Well, one is nostalgic reasons, but 2 as like just as an action movie overall.
You know
Like
what?
Mission
Fuck your
Impossible.
nostalgia.
Mission
Mission
Impossible is
Impossible.
arguably a better movie. I think Die Hard 2 is a better action movie. Like it's just, I mean, it has more action and it's more exciting in that way. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put Die Hard above Mission Impossible. I had more fun watching it.
Which is interesting because you gave it an overall your reaction
Yeah, like I said,
for Mission Impossible was better.
Yeah, I think overall, like if you're just saying as a movie, I think it is better.
But you're still going with Die Hard 2.
It's a tighter movie.
What did I give Mission
And
Impossible?
nostalgia is a powerful thing, man.
That's fair. I mean, no matter what any list we may ever make is going to be subjective.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, when it comes down to decisions like this and you have the same numbers.
so if you have a problem with that, fuck you.
Okay, so you think Die Hard 2 should be ahead of Mission Impossible? What do you think, John?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Die Hard above Mission Impossible.
All right, I'm gonna go with Mission Impossible.
Did you really? Was that before or after we said what we said?
No, I'm
Are
just
you-
going because you guys are going with Die Hard 2.
So you're
Fucking
going
rebel.
just to die on a hill because you?
Savage.
Yeah,
It's a suicide mission.
You gotta pick your battles.
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
I mean, you've already lost this one.
yeah. No, I know.
Why?
I just think Mission Impossible, it flows better. The plot is better.
That's true.
Like
You're not wrong.
almost everything about it is better, other than the quotes.
Maybe he swayed me.
Other than the
Quotes aren't as good, and
Okay, you know
the
what?
3 set pieces are really good in Mission Impossible, but they're really spaced out. You got something at the beginning, you got something in the middle, and you got something at the end.
So this is why I'm picking Die Hard, is because I would rather watch John McClane than Ethan Hunt
yeah,
in these movies.
and I like the Mission Impossible.
I
movies.
really, and it's true. Like Mission Impossible is another one of those movies that I was like pleasantly
I
surprised.
mean,
to watch again.
definitely Mission Impossible series as it goes along stays at a
Yeah.
higher quality than the Die Hard series. As
Mission
it goes along.
Impossible has a dip in 2, but it just like goes up from there.
Yeah.
Whereas Die Hard is on a slow decline.
Yeah, you get your 3. If the first 3 are pretty good, and then
But I think I just would rather watch, like I said, I'd rather watch John McClane than Ethan Hunt in these movies.
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
So
it
what's
goes
the next movie we're gonna watch?
The Long Kiss Goodnight with Gina Davis
Which I've never seen.
and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Never even heard of it. Watched the trailer. Never seen the trailer before. Nothing. So
Oh well, I'm not.
You're in for another Christmassy treat.
sweet.
Well, Christmas at Action continues. All right. Well, thanks so much for listening. Please check our list out. We've got it up on our website, actionpodcast.com. You can also check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Most importantly, though, please download us, subscribe, and please tell your friends. If you enjoy this, it means a lot if you tell people about it. It means a lot if you rate and review us. It's how we get more people to see us. So please do that. We hope you guys like this one, and please come back for the next.